in Colossians chapter 1 and verse 4. And we're going to ask that as a congregation, we would be known for our faith in Christ and love of the brethren. Since we heard of your faith in Christ Jesus and of the love which ye have to all the saints, and then he goes on that they give thanks to God and the Father, and there's a lot more in that prayer, but the particular part we are focusing on is your faith in Christ Jesus and the love which ye have to all the saints. I would go so far as to say that gatherings such as the ones we have enjoyed the last few days is an expression of our faith in Christ Jesus and the love that we have to the saints. People have been forward to share the things that God has given them. This is an expression of love to the saints, to not just be a taker, but to be a giver in whatever capacities God has placed in you for the edification of the body. But that as a congregation that we would be known for this. That means, for us to be known for that, means to be, this has got to be a very, very obvious thing. A very obvious thing. And again, we're not asking for something that we can feign. You can see through people who say they have love to the saints and really don't. You can see that because they'll be carnal toward one another. They'll know each other, know each other after the manner of the flesh. Whether you like somebody's personality, all kinds of stuff. But love to the saints means that we see each other primarily as the children of God, as we are, and as joined together in Christ. That's our primary identification. And love, by definition, by God's definition, doesn't seek its own, doesn't rejoice in iniquity. In other words, if there is iniquity found, with the same gentleness, this is where we divide things rightly too, and put on Christ, that's where he leads us into how to express this love that we have to one another. It's not just warm fuzzies. We're fortunate. We've got really nice brethren, so it's easy. We don't have a very hard task before us in a lot of ways, but still, that's not good enough. That's not a good enough love. We're talking about the love which Christ bears to his children, for us to shed abroad amongst ourselves and to be known for this, to be known for it, and also our faith in Christ Jesus. We shouldn't think it strange. The church in Rome was known for their faith, and we have no indication that they were out in the streets, banging things around and advertising. It gets out. Brother Gene will tell you things get out of the walls. So this is what we're asking, because the glory of God is what we are jealous for. And because this is what he does. We want it because we want it to be one of the testimonies in the earth of what God does. Unfortunately, there are some people who don't know that this is the effect of salvation in the life of the believer, that this is a hallmark of God's people. And so we're going to ask that, so that his work in his people is glorified, and we're going to ask it for our congregation, and we're going to also ask for others who hear this to be provoked to ask it for their congregation. We need to be jealous for this for ourselves, and we want other sister congregations to be jealous for this for themselves too, and to desire it. So who'll lead us in that? That as a congregation, we would be known for our faith in Christ and love of the brethren.